Right on. We are live on air. Hey guys in the chat, how's it going? Appreciate you coming by and checking out this show today. We've got a really special guest. But before I introduce her, because I know you all know her anyway, before I introduce her, I want to thank my friends and my subs that had contacted me when I was struggling with this chewing the fat. You all got me on the right path, and I think I'm doing the right thing with the format, the way I've changed it, bringing on resellers and having them share their story. So I want to thank you all for that. You guys are awesome. I love each and every one of you. And the other thing that I want to mention real quick before we start is recently the bearded picker, Scott the bearded picker, his wife Joni has been diagnosed with triple negative, I believe it is, breast cancer. And that touches me deeply because you all know I've told you Mama Chelly had to have both of her breasts removed, and she beat the cancer with that, and thank God she's cancer free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the chat throughout the night and remind you all to go check out Joni's story, and there's the link. I should have put in there for Joni Silks. But go check it out, okay, guys? And let's show her some love and some prayers, okay? So with that said, we're going to get started now. You all know who I am, and I'm pretty sure you all know who the next guest, who the guest is that I got. But I was able to get the notorious, the world famous Cindy, aka JewelryNurse, and she decided she would come on and help me start this new format off. So we have her there. And before I have her introduce herself, I want to tell you guys that little backstory. I first met Cindy in an after chat with Sandy. And I thought, wow, jewelry nurse, she must fix jewelry. That's what I thought. And then I found out she doesn't just do that, but she's a real nurse. So we had some good conversations, and also just let you guys know, you're also talking to a real nurse and a nurse that fixes jewelry. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Cindy and let her introduce herself, tell a little bit about herself, and then we'll get into the questions. All righty. So Cindy, if you do the honors.
Sure. Hi, everybody. How are all you doing out there? I think I know some of you. I see a couple of you in the chat that I don't know, but I do know most of you. So I am Cindy, known as the Jewelry Nurse. And I think I started my channel probably late June, early July. Somewhere in July, I started my channel, and it's done pretty good since then. It's steadily gone up, and I'm getting quite a few regular people that I see every week on my channel, and I just love it. This is probably the greatest community on YouTube. There are just some really awesome people in this whole jewelry and reselling area. You just can't beat it. I mean, the people are just fabulous. So I am really enjoying it. I really am. It's really surprised me at how quick the subscribers are coming. It's just amazing.
Right on. So I guess what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to ask you, there's a question I've been wanting to ask you.
Okay.
I've been watching your jewelry jar openings, and I know you do cooking videos. So guys, you got to go over and check out her channel, because she also made these awesome cupcakes with an Oreo in the bottom. I think those were for your husband's office party or something.
Yes, yes.
How did those do? Were they a smash hit?
Oh yeah, his office loves food, and any food, I send food in all the time, and it just goes like really fast. There's never a crumb that comes back.
Yeah. Right on. But it's the jewelry that I find intriguing. I mean, I enjoy the cooking. I always love food, but it's the jars. It seems like you have a never endless supply of jars. Is it true you have 100 pounds of jewelry?
I probably have more than 100 pounds of jewelry. I have right now I've got about 7 jars that I haven't even touched yet, but I still have 2 10-pound boxes of Shop Goodwill sitting back there for probably since August that I just haven't been able to get to yet because I always tend to go for the jar first because I can film most of that in one video. But yeah, I have probably bought just since July, I'd say probably close to 120, 130 pounds of jewelry just since July, more than likely. Yeah.
Are you
Yep.
planning on keeping that, or are you going to sell it, or?
No, I sell, I will kind of decide what pieces are worth really my time listing, and I'll put those aside and I'll list them as I get time. And I just have so much I can't list it all, but I do like to do giveaways, and I do make craft lots with stuff I know probably would be better suited for somebody to rework. So I will do that too. And I give jewelry to everybody I know. I try to give away as much as I can on my channel. And yeah, because otherwise I'm going to become a hoarder and I just have
Yeah,
so much. And I try to give away as much as I sell, probably give away more than I sell. But yeah, just so I don't have, tons of it hanging around all the time.
that's cool. I'm checking the chat here. Gloria Ann said, if you'd like me to help you open those, just send them my way, Cindy. So you've got to help her. But then Dwayne, I don't know. He says you need intervention.
I need intervention. He's probably right. My husband would totally agree with that. He's very supportive of it. Like soon as he started, first he was kind of, yeah, okay, we'll see where this goes. But then when he started seeing the sales coming in on, Poshmark and eBay and Etsy, then he's really supportive of it. He'll take me to estate sales and he'll look for jewelry for me. Anytime he goes out of town, he tries to bring jewelry back for me too. So he's really supportive of it. But yeah, I probably do need an intervention. We probably all do.
Well, I want to remind everybody down inside the description, it's there now, and it'll be there when this reposts. But I've got Cindy's YouTube channel in there. I've got her eBay seller page. She's got some really nice stuff on eBay, guys. I've got her Etsy store on there and her Poshmark store, which all has awesome, awesome jewelry, awesome pieces of jewelry. And when I saw that jewelry, and then I watched your one opening of your jar, I want to know how often, what you did was you pulled out a couple of Monet pieces, and everybody knows Monet's kind of seems to be kind of crazy right now. But one of the pieces you pulled out was not gold and silver like I'm always used to seeing. Has that happened to you before, or is that a first?
I've gotten 2 pieces, and I have them here so I can show them later. But I have 2 pieces that I pulled from jars that are not gold or silver, that are kind of a gunmetal color. And one of them is sort of just a classic style chain, but it is a gunmetal color. And the other one is not targeted at the normal Monet. It's the first time I'd seen a piece similar to that, but it's not really targeted at the usual target audience that Monet normally is. Their stuff is usually kind of classic and, targeted at more older women, like my age or maybe younger, but it's not really targeted towards teens or 20-year-olds. And this I felt kind of was. I was so surprised when I saw it that I actually sent a picture to Angie, which is kind of our Monet authority. And he had never seen, I wanted to make sure, is this fake? Did somebody fake this? But she had never seen anything like it either. So and maybe other people are getting it, but yeah, I was really surprised by it.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you're going to be showing that later on, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people, because like it seems that when we go to these jewelry auctions, man, when they say Monet, everybody just goes back crazy, and I'm just as guilty, but yeah, I think that everybody's going to find that interesting. But as far as the jewelry goes, I noticed, because there's going to be a lot of people that are probably going to wonder how you deal with the platforms. Like I noticed on Poshmark, your prices, I would consider them reasonable. I know some people would go, wow, that's kind of high. But I'm interested in knowing, how do you figure out the price? And I mean, do you have past experience with basically what each maker's retail usually is, or do you just go from a gut feeling?
Well, I do look up if I can find that or a similar price. I look up the retail. Now, some I am familiar with because I've bought, I bought pieces at retail price. So sometimes I am familiar and I know what it costs, but normally that is, I will look up comps to see what other pieces have sold for, not necessarily what they're listed for, but what they have sold for and the condition of the piece and how sought after it is. And that's kind of how I base my pricing. Some of the pieces do look like, wow, that's a lot for that. But if you Googled it and realized, the age of the piece and that it's a high-end designer, that's what they go for. So, and most of the stuff, I do list some lower items, but because I have so much to list, I try and concentrate on the higher dollar items, things that are, maybe worth a little more. And then I do
Mhm.
throw in some, less expensive stuff for people who, maybe can't afford to pay, $70 for something. But, most of my stuff, I only have a few pieces that are probably over $50, but that's kind of how I do it. Basically, I'll get the things that I think people are looking for right now, that are in style and that are going to net me the most money.
All right. Um, I think the reason why I'm leaning toward that, I know we talked before in the past about how eBay has been flooded with a lot of cheap overseas jewelry. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not picking on any one country, but let's face it, all we know. I'm talking about China. I mean, they
Mm.
mass produce repops and all that stuff. And then they flood eBay for pennies on the dollar. And I'm wondering, do you find that, like, I know if you put like best offer on something, or over at Poshmark, people can make you an offer, and I think Etsy, they can do the same thing. Do you find you entertain a lot of low ball? I mean, because of that influence from over at the other platform over at eBay.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of that jewelry that's coming in from China is definitely hurting the price of American designers and particularly resellers in even silver, because there's a lot of it. I mean, even Amazon sells a lot of really inexpensive silver coming out of China. And, some of it's well made, some of it isn't, but it's absolutely hurting the prices. It really is. It's
Okay.
they're supposed to um, I can't remember exactly what I heard, but something's supposed to change with the shipping from China, because right now it's a lot of them offer free shipping, which makes it even cheaper for you to purchase from China.
Hmm.
And I know it will hurt people who are purchasing a lot of jewelry from China, but they're supposed to change that free shipping thing and make kind of level the playing field a little bit so American makers can compete with the shipping and everything. Because if you're only paying $10 for a pair of silver earrings from China and there's no shipping, how are you supposed to compete with that if you're an American
Yeah.
designer?
Yeah. Well, hopefully eBay will work something out with that, and start listening to its sellers. Hey guys, I'm copying your questions down. We're gonna ask those questions. If you've got a question, if you can put like a question mark in front, so I know it's a question instead of waiting to the end, then I can just go straight to it. Um, so out of all the platforms that you're on, because I know everybody here does the cross listing, they get on as many venues as they can, and I know I've had issues with, oh my god, I sold something and now I can't find it, or oh man, I sold it on eBay and I forgot to take it down somewhere else. Um, are you finding are you having that same issue, that same problem?
Yes, yes. I definitely have to make an effort every time I sell a piece, because I do cross list to make sure I go and take it off of other sites, because I've one time I had forgotten to take a piece off and I had a lady that wanted to buy it on another platform, and I felt really bad. I had to tell her that I had already sold it and just had
Hmm.
forgotten to take it down. But yeah, I do have that problem. I got to remember to do that every time.
Well, you know, speaking about China, I remember watching a video where you bought a pair of earrings that
Hmm.
they was, I guess it was for like a paid review,
Yes.
and it was from China, right?
Yeah.
How did that turn out? Because I don't see you wearing them.
I didn't really realize until after I had agreed to do it that the company was from China. And I kind of got, and at first I was kind of for it because I thought, okay, well, this is a nice pair of earrings for, $20, nice pair of silver earrings. And then I started realizing that this company was from China because they weren't really answering my questions when I would email them. They would skirt around things, and it just started to seem like there was some communication problems. And then I started realizing there was Chinese symbols in the emails, even
Oh
though they
wow.
were, yeah. And I don't even think the person that was calling themselves a female name. I really don't even think I was communicating with a woman. I think that it was a actual man, just from some of the things that they were saying in the emails. But I was, like I said, I was for it at first, and I was going to do it, and I did that one pair. And then when I started realizing how much all the jewelry coming in from China is just becoming a problem, I decided not to promote it. And I know that same company has hit up a lot of the girls that do jewelry. And I think it's called Follow Best. So, and that I don't know if it's connected with the best line that comes out of China. But, if you do that, they do reimburse you like immediately, like they say they do. But yeah, I kind of changed my mind on that whole thing. And that's why I'm no longer wearing the earrings. I decided I did not want to promote that anymore.
I mean, was the quality okay, or did
The
it turn your
quality,
screen, or
yeah, the quality was good. Yeah, the quality was very good. Which I think is kind of an exception, because some that I've seen isn't great quality. And even that best designer line that comes out of China, that's really good quality. But the prices, we just can't compete with the prices. We can't make it as cheaply. So my thinking kind of changed about the whole Chinese jewelry thing.
yeah, well, places like AliExpress and DHgate um, make it so easy to for American resellers to flood the market. And I can tell you guys in the chat, I've been copying your questions. I got them all in order, and we're gonna drill Cindy here soon. But I wanna uh, I want to address one thing. Anita did say that most of them are not real silver, the China items, and I can speak from experience. I bought some rings, said 925 on them. When I got the bag of them, it was like, no. One was stamped 925, and the rest looked like regular, it was just crap. And then I bought some from liquidation.com, and I sold those 72 rings. I thought they said 925 silver in the ad. When I got them, no. So, you guys got to be careful. I will give a shout out to Anita. If you guys don't know how to test silver, I'm pretty sure Cindy knows how, but I've not seen a video on how you test stuff. But I did see the video on with Adam and Anita, how she tests silver and gold. So
I
if,
test
if I,
everything anyway, yeah.
do you have a video of doing it?
I don't. I think I've tested a couple of pieces kind of off to the side in a video, but I haven't actually done a video, because Anita had already done hers. But I probably will, in case I have any viewers that don't. And I try and encourage people to go to, because Anita she's one of my favorites. So I always try and send people to her anyway. So most of my subscribers are probably already subscribed to her. But I probably will do that, because I do plan on doing a video where I just pull out a bunch of raw stone, just
Uh-huh.
stone rough, to kind of show people what it looks like in the rough before it's cut. So I might kind of combine those together, where I show you how to test for silver. And I did test those earrings, by the way, and surprisingly they were silver. That's the first thing I did when I finished that video was test those earrings, because I am aware of that. And I also try to show that on my channel too. When I get a piece of silver that or gold or anything that's fake, I try to show on my channel, you know, look out for this, because
Well,
there's a lot of stuff there.
you're one of them smart ones. That's why, you know, I like watching you. That's why I'm telling everybody, when this thing repopulates or reposts, or you're here now and you're one of my subs and you've never met Cindy, there's the link in the description. Go to her YouTube channel. She's got great information, great videos. And the same thing about Anita. Of course, we could go down the line, you know. I put you in that top five or six, you know, of the ones that I watch, because
Oh,
I know I'm going to get good. I know I'm going to get good information, and that's what it's all about, right?
yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. And you know, I try to share my own information. I do a lot of research, and I also share what I hear other YouTubers too. And I always give them credit for it. Like if I heard Thelma say something, or I heard Anita or whoever, I will, you know, say, well, Anita said on her channel. So you know, we need to spread the information around. And I get a lot of it too from my viewers. Just amaze me at how much they know. They are just an unending source of information, and they love sharing it. And so that's always really nice when they're able to you know, tell me something, and it saves me the time having to look it up. So
Yeah.
that's always really nice.
Well, I think I want to ask. I want us to ask one question from the viewers here. That's My Cozy Nest. She asked, and this is for you. She asked, "Do you price higher because Monet is hot again, or do you price based on what you paid?"
I don't necessarily price on what I paid. I price on what the going rate is. um and I look at it this way. If I It doesn't really matter what I paid for it. It's more, to me, if you were like walking up the street and you found a diamond bracelet laying on, which I have, by the way, laying on the road, and it turned out it was worth $5,000, um, and you can't find the owner, you can't return it, and you're not going to keep it, you're going to sell it, right? So you're not going,
Mhm.
because you found it, you're not going to sell it for $50 just because you found it. You're going to sell it for what it's worth. So, and I will give people, and I do a best offer. So the price that you see there is, you know, the price that I'm hoping to get, but I will also accept a best offer. And so, you know, I may not necessarily, if I've got, you know, $60 listed, I'm probably going to get 50 for it. So, and I know that, but you got to start somewhere. And if you don't ask for it, you can't get it. So you got to ask for what it's worth.
That's that's very true. And I wasn't going to read from the chat question, but that comment you made uh, kind of goes with the one from So Get This. For those of you that don't know, So Get This, that's my daughter Angie, who's also So Get This Flips. Um, Her question is, so I have some Monet earrings that I want to put on Posh. How do I find the exact pair due to the comps, or do I find something similar?
If you can't find the exact pair, and I've gotten advice from Angie on listing Monet too. If you can't find the exact pair, try and find something that's similar to it. And Monet is kind of about, is it vintage or is it brand new, as to how much you're going to get for it. But that's what I would try and determine, because there is a fabulous Monet book out there too that Angie has, that I can't wait to get my hands on. But try and figure out when the earrings were made, or the necklace, or whatever Monet a piece it is. And all of that should factor into what you charge for it. But usually I will look at comps, something similar to it. And if I just can't figure it out, then I call Angie.
Uh,
Because Angie
um,
knows her Monet, and she knows what he goes for.
well, yeah, she does. I mean, I've watched her in that Jewelry Detective, or Hunters Detectives, or the one she does with Tanya, where they bring a guest on. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, because if you're seeing something similar and then this person happens to bring it up, I mean, I'm so amazed how they can tell just by looking over an internet connection. you know.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
I do get and I probably shouldn't, but I do get a little irritated sometimes when I look on like Etsy or eBay and I see people selling something that I know is worth way more than they're asking for it. And, it may
mhm.
be an item that is worth 30 used, and they're selling it for $5, and you're going, "Oh, wow, this is like," and you may have that piece and paid more than 5 for it, and, they hurt. You can't get the price that you should get for it when that happens, and I see that a lot, and that probably irritates a lot of resellers when, just for the turnover, I understand you gotta turn it over, you can't keep everything, but at least try and ask close to what it's worth. Don't list a Heidi Doss necklace that retailed for $159 for $5. I mean, that's wrong. That hurts the rest of us when you do that.
Now you said you can't keep it all. How do you? 'Cause I mean, I watch all these charts you've been opening up. I've been binge watching just to see exactly. Like when I saw that dark Monet we were talking about, I went back to previous videos because I had to see if there was something else that I've never seen before. And w- how do you like? I have a certain amount, and I know okay, I've got to list that. But when you've got tonnage like you do, how do you look at it all and determine that I'm listing, this I'm going to wear for a while, that's going as a giveaway, or this is going in a yard sale? I mean, how do you determine what goes online? I mean, you just go like, well, I got to put something up, and you just grab a handful.
No, I don't do that. I do, sometimes I just see a piece when it comes out the jar and I know, hey, this has got to get listed. Another thing that I do is I will wear a piece and I'll wear it on my channel and I'll wear it out in the public. And if I get a lot of compliments on it, then I'll know that, hey, I should list that. Sometimes I just go by instinct. I go by brand name. And I try to keep up with the trends, what's selling. I do watch a lot of other YouTubers like Thelma and Anita, and they're a good wealth of um, you know Thelma especially, she knows what's selling and she sells a lot. So I will watch her channel too to kind of get an idea of, it helps me figure out what I should be listing. All of them do really, because everybody's very happy to share their sales. And that's, a good way to figure out what you should list is by watching what other YouTubers are selling.
Okay, that's pretty cool that you do your own like field marketing, by wearing it. I mean, I
Yeah.
would have never have thought, hey, you know what? Like I want to sell a T-shirt or I want to sell caps, baseball caps. I never thought, well, next time the kids wheel me outside, I'll just put one of my baseball caps on and see if I get people interested in. I mean, I think that's pretty cool that you do that. Yeah, have you been doing it since you've been collecting and selling, or just?
Um, yeah, actually, I have. And I will have people stop me in a store or something and say, "Hey, I really like that necklace." I've actually taken something off of my neck and given it to somebody because they liked it so much in the store. And, I know I've got 15 more at home to sell, so I'll give it to them. But yeah, I do that. I will, see what kind of interest I get. And I especially with like younger people, I'm trying to figure out now what are you definitely want to try and target the people that have the cash to the expendable cash to buy jewelry. So you can't, every age group, like there are teens out there. I'm trying to figure out what it is that they like and try and list that in a price range they can afford. So I'm looking at things like that now is what I'm trying to kind of get an idea what age groups are buying what type of jewelry and how much money do they have to spend. You don't want to try and target like teenagers with something knowing that they don't have a job, they don't have expendable income. What can they afford on their babysitting money or their after school job? So I kind of think about things like that too when I price.
Well, that's
And
cool. I never think of teenagers. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I should probably start doing that, thinking that they're going to be on these venues and looking.
yeah.
So I might as well market to them. I mean, We used to do that out the flea market. We had these little marble pendants that have like a dragon on them, or a sorcerer, or a fairy, and they only cost us like 3 cents a piece. You buy a bag of 12, and we would put them up and put $1. And I asked my wife at the time. I said, "Why $1?" I mean, she says, because every kid that comes up here has $1.
Yeah,
And
they can.
she's right. We would sell out of those from all the little hands coming up, because mommy gave them $1 and they could go buy what they wanted. And so, you're right. That's probably some of the best advice given here right now is, think of the people you're targeting and don't forget some of the others, I would say.
Right, yeah. Because I had no idea and what teenagers were wearing and younger people, what kind of jewelry they were wearing when I started this. So that's something I have been paying attention to. Like if I go into Walmart or I go into Dillard's or whatever store, I'm starting to look at what they're wearing. What do I see women of different ages wearing? And that also helps me decide what I want to list to is what I see women wearing around me, and men too. Men wear jewelry too, so I do look at that. And
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't see much men jewelry though.
no, I don't get a whole lot. I did get something today, though. I've been looking for men's jewelry lately because I don't get much in my jars. So I'm starting to look for men's jewelry in other places. And I did buy some silver cufflinks today. I went to an estate sale this morning and I picked up a pair of silver cufflinks.
Yeah, I wonder if the reason you're not finding men's jewelry, and I know I'm not finding it, it's pretty sparse. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're buying like in bulk, like you do with the jars, or you
Yeah.
go, I wonder if it's because men, they get a pair of cufflinks, they don't think of changing them out, or these are old, I'm going to get some new. I mean, do you think that the ladies have more of a tendency to purge their
Yeah.
jewelry box than
Yep.
men do?
Yep, I think so. And probably men that wear suits every day to work are probably like in an executive type job or something, and they're probably buying higher end cufflinks than I would
Uh-huh.
find in a jar too, I would think. Other men that wear suits maybe only wear a suit when they go out occasionally. It's they may have a job where they can't wear jewelry to work, so they're probably they're not as likely to put on a jewelry in the morning. And I see men wearing like silver or gold bracelets or necklaces, but yeah, I mean it is true they don't change out their jewelry as much as women do. But most of us, like every day, get up and try and find something that's going to match the outfit we're wearing, and men just in general probably don't. I mean, I'm sure there are some that do, but most men in general don't. And I am seeing more males wearing jewelry, more younger males wearing jewelry now than I used to.
Tasteful stuff, or the
Um,
gaudy big skull
both.
rings and crap like that? I mean, you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm seeing just seeing males in general, younger males in general wearing jewelry, and not just the goth looking stuff, but just like maybe a kid working at a clothing store or something, wearing jewelry.
right. I'm gonna go ahead and read my cozy nest question she left you. She left another one. She
Okay.
said, if you have an old piece of jewelry with no markings, how do you begin to research it to see if it has any value to it? That's a great
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that type of stuff is harder to price. I kind of go by the quality of it. If it's because they probably hear me say all the time on my channel, I get irked when I find a piece that is just great quality, but it's not signed. So I determine a lot of it on that. How well made is it and what components are in it? What metals did they use? What kind of beads, what kind of charms, what is on it? And that's how I decide how to price it if I can't find something similar to it. And believe it or not, I have actually found it just happened to me the other day, a pair of unsigned earrings. I just happened to stumble on the exact same pair of earrings on I think eBay, maybe. I don't remember. I think it was eBay, but yeah, that one's a little harder than signed. But just because it's not signed doesn't mean it doesn't have value. Go by how it's made. If it's well made, then price it like you would anything else.
Okay. I got to read this. This is from Cindy Loves Jewelry. She has a question for you, which, and keep the questions coming, guys, because that's the whole point of having Cindy here is to pick her brain, you know, until she says, stop, enough, uncle.
Until it
Cindy Loves Jewelry. Her question is, who is your favorite designer to find in a jar or in the wild?
Probably everybody, most people know this one, Heidi Daws. Because I love bling, I like crystals, I just love bling. And Heidi Daws is one of my favorite designers. Her stuff it's just a wide range of designs. I love her Art Deco stuff. I love her more classic stuff. I just love it. It's very well made. And she just constantly surprises me with the design. So she's probably one of my favorites. She is definitely my favorite designer. I look for her everywhere. The estate sale I went to today, I went to because in their ad they said they had some Heidi dolls, but a lady beat me to it. A lady came in ahead of me and bought every piece. But yeah, I look for her.
So did you follow her out, thinking of a way you could roll her to get the jewelry?
It's probably a good thing she had left before me, but I asked about it. Like when I got into the little section where they were selling jewelry, I asked, you know, I heard you had some Heidi Doss. Lady said you missed it. A lady bought it like an hour ago. I'm like, darn it.
Man, I would have loved to see if you both were there at the same time and the hand both fall on the same piece. And it'd be like that awkward moment. All right, who's going to punch who in the face first?
Exactly. I think the
Yeah.
lady must have been a collector or knew about Heidi, but most people that get into Heidi are people like me that like bling, that like jewelry, that like statement pieces, because she does have some more subdued, should I say, but most of her stuff is statement pieces. And then a lot of it does have, it either has Swarovski crystals or it has real stone in it or real pearls, or she uses disc quality. So usually people that get into it collect it. There are a lot of Heidi collectors out there. Almost every piece that I've sold has been to a collector.
Cool. Now, this is my question. Now that we had that one about the maker, on your selling platforms, what brand or maker do you find sells the best for you?
Heidi.
Or it's like she's your bread and butter then?
Yeah, I sell a lot of Heidi. I sell almost every piece I put up. I just listed, and it may sit there for a month or so, and sometimes it sells right away, but it always eventually sells. And I've sold a lot of it on eBay, but I've sold it on Poshmark too. So it does sell, though. It sells well.
So there was no squabbling on the price, none of that lowball action going on. I mean, these people obviously knew what they were looking at, right?
Yeah, I had one lady that and I think I had told you about that the other day. I did have, and that's one of my issues with Poshmark is on the bundling. They will really lowball you and then get upset. And I did have a lady that bundled some stuff and, you know, just hit me with a ridiculously low price. And it's like, do you know anything about the pieces of jewelry that you're asking about? And because I think you said you've had it happen to you too, where they just really lowball you. They want to bundle a bunch of stuff together, and then they want to pay you less than what you're asking for just one item. And I've had that happen on Poshmark. Yeah.
So do you just, like, if that happens to you on Poshmark, you get the bundle and the offer? Because I know people handle things differently, and I think this is a very good question, because there always seems to be a video about, do I do buy it now or buy it now, best offer on eBay? Do I entertain a counter offering, which I love to counter offer, because I try to pull that person up to at least what my bottom line is. If they can't reach it, there's no deal. I mean, I have a set mark. But lately, I have the bundle that I told you about. Okay, the shipping was going to be outrageous for it on me to make up on Poshmark because they were just heavy. And when I stuck at my price, they came back snarky.
Yeah,
I mean, rude and nasty. Did that happen to you with that low baller on the jewelry?
on that one particular. Other ones, no, because I will, if I do a counter offer, I will kind of explain, I'll counter offer what my bottom line is, and I'll explain why that is my bottom line. And most people are reasonable, say, okay, yeah, they'll either accept it or they'll decline it and move on. But that one lady did get kind of, yeah, she got a little snarky with me for sure. She was kind of like, well, I've done my research, and I hit her back. Well, if you've done your research, then you know your offer is unreasonable. I'm going to be in the hole. I'm going to be in the hole by the time I ship it to you, and what it costs me, because not every piece I list comes from a jar. As a matter of fact, most of what I have listed is not from a jar. I do list some pieces from a jar, but I've gotten them at estate sales and other places. So it's not all from jars. And, when you know what you paid for it and then what you're going to pay, and I offer free shipping on everything. So I have to consider the shipping when I price it too. How much is it going to cost me to ship it? And then I basically just hit her back with that. And then I just let it go. I stopped responding after that because, she got a little snarky with me. So I just said, oh, okay, well, if you don't want it, fine, but this is my bottom line. If you don't want to pay it, fine. Somebody
All right.
else and somebody did.
You're nicer than me. I mean, I get to the point where I almost want to blow up. But before I read Gloria Ann, I'm going to read your question to her. But because of what you said, I've got 2 follow-up questions. When you've priced your items, or like this Heidi or any of the other brands or makers that are good sellers. Like I know you can do it on eBay. I don't know if you can do it on Etsy, and I know you can't do it on Posh, but on eBay, do you put just a fixed price with no offer, or do you always put an offer? You know what I'm saying? If you know a piece is worth $90 and you want that $90, you're not selling for anything less. Do you just put it as a buy it now and then no offer? I mean, do you do that with a lot of pieces?
I always put a buy it now with an offer, but if I know my bottom line on it is 90 and I'm not going to accept less than 90, then I'll list it as my set price for like 100, 110, whatever, so that when they hit me with an offer, they're not going to go start lower. I start up higher and then give them somewhere to go from there.
Wow, you must be the only person I know that could put something up for $100 and get a decent offer. I don't know if I can speak for anybody else, but I put something up for $100 and they come back with a $5 offer.
Yeah, no, I have had offers where it's, where it was something where I've had it listed for 120 and they'll hit me with 50, and I might have that set to where I'm gonna 90 is my bottom, and I will just hit them back with 90 is the lowest I'm gonna go, and explain why. And if they don't want it, fine. Somebody else will, because as I said the other day, I know some people that are doing this, and a lot of people that are doing this is their income, or they're supplementing their income. I'm not, this isn't my primary income. I mean, it does help, don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of things I do. One of the things is something we talked about earlier. There is things that I do with the money that I earn off of this, and some of it goes back into keeping the jars going and all of that. But it's not my primary income. So I can afford to let it sit. I don't have to keep turning it over to pay my bills. So I'm willing to wait to get the price that I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, I'm like you. I don't mind sitting on something for forever. I mean, if I know what it's worth, and I'm not going to settle for anything less. So then you must be a 30-day or good till close on eBay.
Good till close, yeah.
So you just let it relist automatically.
Yeah,
Okay.
to do auction style, and I stopped doing that, and I think I sell more when I stopped the auction style. I probably still have a few items that are listed auction style that, you know, I'm just letting it run out, and then if it doesn't sell by then, I'll relist it. But I just didn't seem to get anywhere when I did it auction style. I did sell some things that way, but it seems like my sales got better when I just started doing a set price.
Okay. I'm going to read Gloria Ann's question.
On that, actually, I kind of took Dawn's advice. Dawn had some really good advice on, you know, she's the one who said, hey, list high. Don't, you know, don't
Hmm.
yourself, list high. You can't get it if you don't ask it. And she also recommended that not to list on auction, to do that set price. And so I've been doing it ever since that day. She talked about that, and it's worked better for me.
Yeah, that I remember Tanya saying, like, if you want the big money, you got to ask for the big money, or you won't
Exactly.
get it if you don't. Yeah.
Yep. You know, and I will sell to somebody like my YouTube viewers and stuff. I give them much better deals than what I list it for most of the time. Particularly if I know they really want something, I will sell to them and give them a better deal, because if I don't have to take the time to list it and, you know, to keep following up and keep maintaining it, then I can do a less price for it.
Okay. The last question I'm going to ask before I go to Gloria's is, when you talked about shipping, how do you ship the jewelry you sell? Because that seems to have been a hot topic lately in the last couple of days about shipping, no matter what it is, whether it's jewelry or any item. I know everybody has their own way of doing it. My daughter ships my stuff for me. It always goes out individually wrapped, and then I try to put the jewelry in boxes instead of sending them out in bubble mailers. I know it costs a little more for me, but I don't want anything getting crushed or getting a stone knocked off. How do you ship say you sold a Heidi necklace? Well, I know that's the high end there. How would you ship that?
I First, I'll put it in like a little Ziploc. I have different size Ziplocs. Then I put it into a pouch, like either a satin or a velvet or whatever type gauze, whatever kind of pouch I have. And then I put it into a box that has the cotton padding on the bottom.
Hmm.
And I tape that, and then I wrap it with bubble wrap, and then I put it inside a padded envelope. And I've done really well that way. And and I make sure it's not rattling around inside the box, but I've not had a single issue yet doing it that way. And my philosophy on that too is kind of, you know, what they were talking about the other night on, I think Dawn's channel, is it's not that much more effort what's the point if you're not going to wrap it well so it gets there nicely? What's the point of doing it in the first place? So I agree that you should package it well, because you want it to get there in the condition that it left you. And if you do that, then you're not going to have any returns, or, you know, you're not going to have broken jewelry getting there. But I do make some things I'll do different. It just depends on what it is. But I do make sure that it is secure, that it's not in, even if, you know, something is set on top of it and it gets a little
Hmm.
squished, it's not going to hurt the jewelry. And I haven't had any problems.
All right. So and that's good, and that's good advice, guys. So that should kind of handle the shipping conundrum we've been running into lately. Gloria Ann has a question for you. I don't think you'll be able to answer this. I don't know. It's tough. I think it's going to be tough. She says, Cindy, if you were only able to keep 5 pieces of your personal jewelry collection, which ones would they be?
Start with this blue ring I'm wearing right here. My wedding rings. And probably I had a fiance who passed away, and he left me, or he bought me several pieces. So probably something that he gave me, and then just pieces my husband and children have bought me. Those are what I would keep, things that have sentimental value.
All right. Well, you were able to answer it. I thought it would be like,
Mhm.
what's your favorite dress, and or shoes, pair of shoes. So I mean, I'm sorry, guys, the typical what I would think a lady would answer. But Cindy, once again, I've had it handed to me. Cindy proved me wrong. Uh, my Cody Nest has another question for you, and you know what? This is a good one. Posh expects a gift to customers. Do you give jewelry?
I
Like an
do.
addition to this item you sold?
Absolutely. Every single item that I sell, I include, even when I do a giveaway, I'll put something addition in with it. Yeah. Because like I said, I got tons of it sitting here. And what I would try to do is what I will put in as a gift with purchase is something similar to what they bought. You kind of get an idea of what their taste is by what they bought. And I'll do that. I'll put in something that I know kind of is in the same sort of line as what they bought. But always, I always put something free.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions in the chat. Man, if you guys got some questions, let's get them in there. I'm going to ask Cindy to, I know you went to an estate sale and you said you might have some of the goodies that you're going
I do.
to show, and that Monet piece. So I want to, guys, I don't know how long we're going to run this, but I just know that we want to make sure in case somebody else in the chat's going to be going live, you know, that we go there and support their channel. And then we've got the MSP auction, and I know everybody wants to eat before that. So if you've got any questions, let's get them in, and so I can read them. So go ahead, man. I'm stoked about these estate finds.
Okay, let me show you those Monet pieces. This is, can you see that well?
Yeah, bring it up a little bit so we can see there you go. Yeah, that's the piece, guys, I was talking about.
It's marked Monet right here on this piece, right here on this part. But yeah, this is, and then it's sort of the memory wire. And I've shown this on my channel, so my viewers have probably seen it, but I was completely surprised by this piece. And it is well made. I mean, the memory wire really surprised me. It is well made. It is the normal Monet quality, but I was very surprised by this. If any of you have found a piece similar to this, let me know. And it's even open back. It's set with an open back, the stone in it. And I believe the stone looks to be glass to me. But yeah, I had never seen anything in this color. And the other piece that I found of Monet that surprised me was this chain. I do find a lot of Monet chains, but this chain,
well, that's awesome.
Great, and it has the little Monet hang tag right there. But it is a gunmetal color, and it's not super heavy, but again, it's well made. It's the normal Monet quality, but that one surprised me too. I had never seen. I don't know if it, you know, originally came with a pendant or anything, but that one really surprised me too.
So is that so that's the only two pieces you've ever seen, those two colors?
Yep, those are the only two pieces I've seen that have come in the gunmetal. I think I saw somebody else's channel got a gunmetal color one day, and I don't remember who that was. It might have been Angie. I don't remember for sure, but I did see somebody get a gunmetal color, and I don't even remember what it was. I think it was also a chain, maybe.
Okay. Before you show another piece, I gotta ask these two questions because one of them, I skipped. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and you guys are moving so fast, and I can't get to it. It was about the shipping. Elizabeth England wanted to ask you, Cindy, where do you get your jewelry shipping boxes? Uline is a brand, and she's asking, is it Uline, or where do you get the boxes that you use to ship your jewelry?
If I'm not going to put it in a like a small, medium, or large shipping, if it fits its ships box, I buy them online, basically from Amazon. I buy the padded envelopes in whatever size. I buy them on Amazon. Amazon has pretty good deals. I buy the different size boxes for different pieces of jewelry, and I buy the padded envelopes on Amazon. And they're not that expensive if you get them on Amazon. You buy like, 500 padded envelopes or something. I probably buy them 100 at a time, but if you buy them on there, they're not that expensive.
All right, and then
brand they are, but
well, I've bought the little white jewelry boxes that, like you were talking about, on Amazon. They're relatively cheap.
yeah.
I've never used the black velvet bags. I think my daughter uses the black velvet bags, but yeah, you know, it's always the best way to do things. Um, Cindy Loves Jewelry has a question for you, and that was just below that, which goes to the Monet. Do you think it is a new Monet piece? My guess is yes, but not
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, I think I think it's more because I mean, tell me, you guys, if you agree that this is targeted towards a younger audience than most Monet. And yeah, I do think this is it doesn't have, let me see if it has a copyright. Where'd my thing go? Here it is. I can't remember if this has a copyright or not. No, it doesn't. I mean, this one doesn't have a copyright, but it doesn't mean anything. But I do think this is a newer piece. And also the same with this. I think this is a newer piece too. And this one does have a copyright. The chain does have a copyright, but I think they're both newer. And I probably should research them. I haven't really Googled it, and I probably will after this, just out of curiosity. Google gunmetal colored Monet, see what I find. But yeah, I think they're both fairly new pieces.
Okay. Belinda got a question, which I think is about the black one, the one with the memory wire. I'm pretty sure that's the one she's talking about. It says, is the memory wire original to the piece? And she said the first piece. So do you think that memory wire is original to that piece or is an afterthought?
No, I think it's original because the beading and stuff that is on the memory wire matches all of everything that's set, because there's stone set or glass or acrylic. I'll have to check it out. But all around the whole piece, everything matches what is on the memory wire. So I think it actually came that way as one piece. I'll research it and make sure, but I think that's the way it was made.
Okay. Dwayne, hey, Fireball's got a question for you.
Okay.
And I don't think well, yeah, you'll probably be able to answer this. He wants to know, what is your favorite stone?
My favorite stone is, well, I love peridot because it is my birthstone and I love that color of green. But other than that, I am a huge ruby fan. I love pink rubies. And that would probably, the other one would be labradorite. I love labradorite. It's such a beautiful stone.
Yeah, I think I've seen that's kind of got like I think I've seen that on Sandy's show. She was going to cut this huge one, and she sold a couple of rings. That's more to me. Well, I'm partially colorblind, so to me it looks like it's kind of got like a gray with a purple or a blue in it.
Yeah, it has. It's got flash and fire in it, almost like an opal. It almost looks like a black opal or something. And it sort of, I think, is kind of a cross between an opal and moonstone, but like a black color, or grayish color. But I first discovered labradorite probably back in the 70s, 80s. A man that I was going to school with had a little statue carved out of labradorite, like an Asian statue carved out of labradorite, and that's kind of when I fell in love with it. So I've been looking for pieces of it ever since. It's very fragile though, like opal. It does fracture very easy, so you have to be careful with it. I just dropped a piece the other day and cracked it. I was really upset.
Wow.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with it. It does. It's sort of like opal in hardness, I guess. It fractures easy.
Boy, Thelma's got a question. She's got all kinds of emojicons and question marks, and I think it's pretty cool. She says, "What's your first memory of love and jewelry?"
Probably very young. I remember, actually, this is going to be funny. Visiting Virginia Beach. I lived in Indiana and my family went on a trip. I have family that lived here in the area, military. We came here and we were on the downtown boardwalk and we were looking for souvenirs to take home. And I wanted a ring. I wanted a little round ring with peridot, like just a little costume jewelry ring with peridot stone colors in it, you know, for my birthstone. And that's the first time I remember ever, you know, wanting jewelry and liking it. And I probably was maybe 9 then. And yep, ever since then, I've kind of loved jewelry. And I started buying jewelry when I started babysitting, probably age, you know, 14 maybe. But yeah, that's early on. I've always loved jewelry.
Okay, I don't see any more questions. I think I got caught up on the questions. Did you have any other pieces, or were those just
I do have
the two?
stuff I bought today if y'all want to see it from an estate sale. I have
Is this the excuse me? Is this the estate sale that you missed the Heidi stuff on?
yep, this is the one. This is the one. I found this bracelet. This is sterling. This is sterling silver bracelet. I think it has a maker's mark, but I haven't been able to find it yet. I didn't have a chance to research it because I haven't been home long from the estate sale. But I found this, and I got a pretty good price on this. I think it's a fairly small bracelet. It's probably about, I would say probably a small, extra small maybe. But that I love. And it's just, you know, it doesn't have any kind of design here, but it does have the gold. It is two-toned. It has like gold roping around it. But I found that, and I'm really thrilled with the price. So yeah, you'll probably see that listed. And then I found this bracelet, and I'm going to have to show this on my channel again so I can magnify it and show you the link. The link is like incredible. It's almost like little crowns. Like each one of these links is a bunch of
Wow.
wires together. You can't see it now, but I'll have to show it. And I think I paid like 10 for that, which seems like a lot for a, you know, little silver bracelet, but I'll show that on my channel so I can magnify and show you the link, but the link is really unusual. And this is the smallest ring I have ever found anywhere, and I think it's a size 3 1/4. So it's like even too small for my pinky. So I don't know
Wow.
if it's meant to be a child's ring. It has these little stones. It does have actually diamonds. I tested them as soon as I got home. So it has little diamond chips on the side and then all around the stone. And I think it's either obsidian or black onyx setting. And I got that for like $8, which I thought was a pretty good price. And
That's a
it's very
beautiful
well
ring.
made. Tiny, but very well made. And then
Beautiful.
the cufflinks I told you about.
Yeah.
These are the silver cufflinks, and these actually say sterling, so I'm pretty certain these are vintage. These are probably maybe 50s. They say patent pending, and there is a patent number, so I can probably look them up. And then they both actually say sterling, like right up in here. But I was thrilled when I saw these because, you know, like I said, I don't get very much men's jewelry in the jars. So, and I've never gotten a pair of silver cufflinks. So I was really happy to get those. And I paid 14 for those. And the last thing I bought was the ankhs, I guess you call these. These are, I think, Egyptian symbol. An ankhs.
Yeah, an onk. The onk, yeah.
Yeah, an ankh. And this has a maker's mark on the back, and I don't recognize, so I'm going to have to do some research on this. But this is definitely an old piece too. You can tell, like it has all the features of being. The lady had a lot of Egyptian jewelry, so it looked like she had maybe, you know, taken a trip to Egypt. But they hadn't started marking down the prices yet. I think tomorrow prices start going down. So everything was kind of high. So I didn't buy as much as I had wanted to. Probably one of my better deals was this cultured pearl necklace. It's a multi-strand and it has a silver clasp, but I got that for $6, which I thought was really good.
So
And
how do
that,
you know a real pearl from a fake?
um, probably from looking at so much of it, and you can almost tell from the luster and then the feel. Like a real pearl is more gritty, and you can either do that rubbing it on your teeth thing, or you can look at it um, with a loop too. You can kind of see it, and the luster is just different, and it just feels different. And most of us that are doing them are kind of probably gotten really good at spotting, the difference between real pearls and fake pearls.
Yeah.
But to me, the luster just looks different. And
Well, good to know.
this is my favorite. I paid, well, you can't see it now, $3 for this little bag, and it had 3 pairs of earrings in it. And one of them, of course, was a pair of vintage Monet earrings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so $1 for those basically. And then let's see, these are, what were these? These are, I can't remember. All 3 pairs were marked. And oh, this is Sarah Coventry, and these are vintage Sarah Coventry. They're all like clip-ons. Yeah, they're all clip-ons. Well, these are screwbacks, but these are a little pair of vintage Sarah Coventry. I mostly wanted a pair of Monets, but the fact that the other 2 pairs were signed too was good. And then this little pair, and I can't remember what brand this was. This is an enamel pair, and I bought I like these because they go with a necklace that I have and this has a patent pending number on it too, but I don't recognize this brand name. Maybe you guys will. It's only on 1 earring, and I'm finding that lately that some of the older stuff, they only marked 1 earring. It looks like FO. It just has the initials FO. So if any of you know who that is, and they're definitely older and they have a patent pending, so they're probably from like the 50s. Just a little pair of enamel earrings, but that was a pretty good deal, I thought. Just $3 for 3 pairs of marked earrings. And even if I don't list them, they'll be good as a gift with purchase or a giveaway. And I try and what I hear people like my viewers and other YouTubers, I try and listen to what and Cindy Loves Jewelry said she does the same thing. She kind of listens to what people like, and I try to keep it in my memory what I know people like, and if I see something, then I'll save it and give it to them with a purchase.
Okay. Gloria N is correct in our grammar or proper pronunciation, which I think is cool because I like to learn how to say stuff properly. She says, can I mention something that I've noticed with all the jewelry people I watch? The stone is actually called, oh, please, I hope I'm doing this right, Labradorite.
Labradorite. Right, she is.
And she says, I only know this because I'm from Canada.
She's right. So, that's the right way to pronounce it, and that's laziness on my part, but it is pronounced Labradorite.
And thank you, our great northern sister, for straightening us out on that.
Thank you.
I'm being serious. I appreciate it. Dwayne had one question. He wanted to know, what was your best sale ever? So I think he's like trying to prod. Did you get that $1 million diamond sold?
No, but my best sale. Well, the other day, this is a recent one, I bought a Liz Claiborne brooch, and I paid like $2 for it in Kansas when I was there. I think it was either at a yard sale or at an antique market. I don't remember which, but I sold it for $25 the other day on Etsy, which I thought was a pretty good deal.
Right on.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good sale, and it had been sitting there for maybe 2-3 months and really no interest. And then one day it just sold. And that was just like last week. So I was happy about that. I've had some good sales like that, but I've had some that have sold for more, but as far as what I paid for it and then what I made off of it, I thought was pretty good.
That's always good.
Yeah.
You make more money off of spending less. Dwayne corrected us. It's not Onk. Like, I guess it's Ank or Onk, but it's spelled A-N-K-H. I thought it was O-N-K-H, but he corrected us. Thank you, my brother.
I'm going to write that down too. ANKH.
Hey, I
Yeah.
see John's in here, Nevermore Antiques. You guys, he's going to be doing the auction tonight with MSP on MSP. And you need to go check out the pictures at the Facebook group because he's got some really awesome stuff.
Cool.
I'm going to be there. It's going to be kind of hard to control myself, but I'm going. So you all make sure we get over there and get him supporting over there. I'm looking for some more questions. I don't see any. Or am I missing it, guys?
Mike did get beat up pretty bad last night in Sandy's auction, so take it easy on him today.
Yeah, Ian McCary has a question, but he wants us to say, he wants us to tell my mother I love her. So, Miss McCary, if you're watching this, Ian loves Ian or Ian. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ian says he loves you.
Oh, thank you, baby. I love you too. That's
the mama.
Yep, that's
You're the mama. I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
He is down in he just joined the military in April, and he's down in Pensacola right now in A school, and his wife just left to join him. He just got married too right before he went in, and his wife just joined him over the weekend down in Pensacola. So took the grandchildren and all of that, so I won't get to see them until December, but you know, they grow up and they move away. You have to learn to deal with it.
What branch again?
Navy.
Right on, Navy. My dad was Navy. Is it? Am I saying it right, Ian?
Ian, yes, Ian.
Ian, thank you for your service. Thanks for serving. And Godspeed, brother. And he keeps you and the family protected. And your wife, yeah, thank her for serving too. Thank you very much, because the spouses serve just as much as the service member does.
Yeah.
So we thank you both.
He grew up military. His dad did 23 years, so he's very acquainted with the military already. So I think it was kind of a natural progression for him to join.
Right on. You're welcome, Gloria. I think this is a really good idea. And Cindy, I got to say something. Cindy has never done a collaboration like this, where she's gone on live and been interviewed. So, and this is the first time I've done this with this format. So this is a first timer, and I think Cindy's done an awesome job and has been doing an awesome job. And I'm really liking this format. So what I want to say to you guys that are out there, my email is in the description. It's askmike@yahoo.com. I know I put that out there, and now I've been signed up for boat cruises, vacations to Cuba, you know, timeshares that keep getting all this stuff. You know, you can't help but get the spam mail with that. But for any of you guys that, I don't care whether you're, I mean, it's Cindy, we've talked about this and she agrees with me. Doesn't matter whether you're jewelry or you do crafts or you resell hard goods or you sell cars or large stuff or you do baking, you know, or any of that. You all have something valuable to share. I mean, I learned a lot tonight, especially about Monet and then the pricing and all that. I mean, we can learn a little bit that gives us a lot to go with. So if you guys know anybody, and I'm particularly wanting to target, and I don't know, that sounds bad, but I want to concentrate on the women resellers in this community, because I see all the guy videos and it's always the this and that. And I think the women kind of get left to the side a little bit. It's like all their videos are going to be about is jewelry or baking brownies. Hey, well, you know what? I love jewelry and I love brownies. Okay. So I would like any of you that know anybody that you think would be a good for interview, email me at askmike@yahoo.com, or if you want to come on, because I'm trying to start scheduling this as an every Saturday thing around 5 o'clock. Like, I know I will be having Anita on. So Anita, she will be coming on. I don't know exactly when. We're trying to nail that down. I'd like to have Thelma on. I'd like to have Belinda, all you guys. I'd love to have all you guys come on. So, but one at a time, like we're doing now. I think this is working really good.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I think Anita and Thelma would be great because they both sell, you know, a lot of other things than just jewelry. So they've got a lot of wealth of information about a lot of different things. And Thelma knows her handbags, like, yeah, she knows her handbags. So that's definitely a good one. Get her on there to talk about the handbags. She's a wealth of information there. And gotta do a special on Monet and get Angie in there, because Angie knows the Monet, so you need to get her in there and have her show a variety of the Monet pieces.
Yeah, I mean, because if she has not seen either of those two pieces before, you know, and I would be interested in hearing her opinions, you know.
Yeah, she knows it.
Let's see here in the chat. Okay, after the show, before MSP, everybody over to Ansley's house, Mother's Mustache. She's literally baking double fudge brownies right now. So she
Oh,
said we can all go over and eat all the brownies she's making, which is
wow,
cool. We should always have snacks.
definitely. I am going to do another cooking video on cheesecake here coming pretty soon, and then at Christmas time, I've got some candies and stuff that I'll show y'all how to make. But yeah, I'm trying to branch out and do one of the things you had wanted to ask, but we forgot, was how I got my name as
Oh,
Julie.
that's right. I'm sorry. I got so carried away and so excited about because I think I was more nervous than you about having you come on because it's the first time. Like I said, I know I've tried to put Jewelry Nurse together, thinking you fix broken stuff from watching. Then, like I say, you are the real nurse. How did you come up with the name Jewelry Nurse?
My youngest son, Jack, actually came up with that. I was trying to come up with an idea for a channel, and then I stumbled onto a couple of the ladies doing unjarrings, and I think Thelma and Texas Gal Treasures and Anita and um, one I can't, it's escaping me now, are some of the first ones that I saw. And when I saw that, I thought, I could probably do that. When my son started encouraging me, he said, Mom, I'll even film it for you if you just do it. And so he talked me into it, and he came up with the name. He said, you gotta incorporate the fact that you're a nurse in there somewhere. So he researched it and said, hey, there are no other jewelry nurses. Let's go with that. So that's how it started.
I think that's pretty cool. I think Star City Picker might be asking a question because I know we talk about the baking and the brownie. He says fruitcake and question mark. I personally can tell Star City Picker I love fruitcake. I know there's a lot of people that hate it. It's one of them things that gets bounced around from house to house every holiday season. Ends up ends up being a doorstop somewhere. You know, that's uh, that's terrible. Do you, do you like fruitcake, or have you ever made fruitcake? Or
I have made an updated version of it, the old-fashioned fruitcake that bounced around when I was a kid. No, didn't care much for it because I don't like all of that dehydrated fruit stuff. But I do have a more updated version of a fruitcake that is really good, and I would compare it more to the texture of like a zucchini or banana bread. But then it just has all the same things that you put in a fruitcake, make it a little more palatable. But yeah, no, don't care much for the old-fashioned style fruitcake.
I slather peanut butter on my fruitcake when I eat it, so that helps me get it
Get it
helps
down.
me get it down along with a big cup of black coffee.
Hey, everything
Um,
goes good with peanut butter.
yeah, Anita loves pineapple upside down cake. That's one of my favorites.
My
As
husband,
long as I don't have to eat the pineapple, I like the cake and the gooey stuff.
that's a good one, Anita. I do agree. Pineapple upside down cake is good. It's the texture. If you get the texture of the cake right, it's good. And it's one of my husband likes old-fashioned desserts like banana pudding and apple pie, that kind of stuff. The fruit cake, or not so much fruit cake, but like the pineapple upside down cake. He likes all those old-fashioned kind of desserts. So because of that, we've learned to make, my husband also cooks, and he's a very good cook. So we have learned to make all of those type of old-fashioned desserts because he likes them.
You know, speaking of hubby, this is probably a very good question. What does he think about all this jewelry stuff?
I think at first he probably kind of questioned it and went, "Oh my God, what is she doing?" But then when he started seeing the sales and saw that it kind of got me up and got me moving and got me motivated to be a little more social, he's behind it. He likes it. I mean, he not so much, he don't care about the jewelry, but he does care that what it's done for me. He's happy about that.
That's good. Um, Geez, I can't think of anything else. I mean, I think we pretty much covered it. Do you guys got any more questions? I mean, or do you want her to show a couple more of the cooler pieces? Like I know that necklace you were wearing in a one video, was it yesterday or the day before? You said it was like a bunch of strand like beaded, and you said, I think I might keep this, but I don't know. Have you decided to keep it or are you going to sell it?
I put it in my jewelry box the other day when I took it off, so usually that means I'm going to keep it.
Okay, so that's a
A
keeper.
whole lot of pieces, but every once in a while, one, because I have so much personal jewelry already before I even started this. And, you know, you get to a point in your life where, you know, before that, especially like as a newlywed, if your husband bought you a blender or a, you know, tires or a pantsuit or something, you'd be really upset. You want that jewelry. Well, I've kind of the opposite. I've got all the jewelry I need. Now I want the pantsuit and the tires. So things have changed, but every once in a while I find a piece that I do want to keep, and that one did go in my jewelry box.
Vanessa has a question here. Why doesn't Cindy wear the Heidi's jewelry?
Because I have a couple of pieces that I do wear, but I'm listing most of it. I'm not, like I said, I'm trying to weed stuff out, and I've kept my favorite pieces. The rest of it, because I'm trying to down, and I know it's something that will sell, so I'm trying to thin things out, and I'm trying to purge lately, not just jewelry, but you know, all aspects of my life. You accumulate a lot when you move around as military. You never really completely unpack because you're moving every few years. So I'm trying to purge a lot of that. And so I've sold a lot of it and I have a lot of it listed. That's why you don't see me wearing it all the time. And I do wear what I'm keeping, but I've sold a lot too. I
Okay,
stopped.
you know, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said I've stopped collecting it. Before I was collecting pieces, but I've kind of stopped collecting it, and I just chose to and it's not the only thing, but I had so much of it, and I just can't wear it all. So if it's going to sell, I might as well list it.
All right. You know what, guys? I kind of think this has gone a little bit smoother than I thought, a little bit faster. I think we're going to be wrapping it up here real quick. I do want to remind you. Well, first of all, I got to give a shout out. Hold on, I got to show everybody this cap now. Okay, you see the cap? God bless America. I got to give a shout out to Valerie of Etc. Emporium. Um, I saw this cap over in her Posh store, and I said, "Man, I just got to have it." And then while I was over there, I also saw all kinds of cool things: sunglasses, purses, and I think all of her stuff is boutique. So I put a link down in the description to Valerie's YouTube channel, and which she hasn't put up any videos yet, but I'm pretty sure she will soon now that they're sharing her link with the world. And I put her link to her Poshmark closet. So if you want to get you a cool cap like this, or she's got other awesome caps, she's got some really cool jewelry, and I mean, this stuff is awesome. She's like all of us, you know, just the good stuff. So go on over there and check it out. And if you happen to pick up a cap, tell her, hey, Rollin Picker sent you. Because I like the resellers. I like to buy from resellers when I can. You know, whether it's on eBay or Poshmark, I like to. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I try to. And the other, because I want everybody to get out of here early enough so you can get pick up your libation you need, or eat something, or grab some brownies from Ansley's house before the MSP auction. And I think I saw something about carrot cake and eggnog and some other stuff in there. So I think somebody's having a party, so we should all go there. But yeah, but I think that's pretty much going to do it, guys. I want to make sure, though, if you know anybody, give me their names, help me get in contact with them, so we can keep this format going, so we can keep passing down some great information. I want to thank my first ever guest, Cindy, for coming on here, man, and helping bail me out because I didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. I want to thank you very much. You're wonderful. You're gracious. You're a lovely lady. You're knowledgeable, and I couldn't think of a better way to kick this new format off with than having you on here. I mean, it was a blessing to me, and I know it's a blessing to all these people that are in here. Even Fireball, he's starting to make me angry. Good thing you're not reading the chat. But anyway, yeah, he says
you keep up with.
yeah, he says, hey, Rollin, ugly flag, buddy. Yeah, right. Anyway, I don't have much more to ask her, guys. If you've got one question or so, maybe we can get it in. I know she should go and get something to eat and spend some time with family and get ready for the auction if she's going to go. So if nobody's got any questions, I'm going to keep it for like 10 seconds. And you're welcome, Anita. And I want to thank you all then for coming, especially Cindy. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Mike, for inviting me. I was really honored when you invited me. I would have done it in a second, and I really appreciate that you asked. And the only thing I want to say in closing, and you all have probably heard me say this many times, but I truly mean it when I say this, that this is the greatest community on YouTube. It's all the resellers, all the viewers, everybody that I have not had any negative experiences, everybody that I have run into is more than happy to help you. And even though we all are in the same arena, it just amazes me that there's no competitiveness. We're all trying to sell the same thing, but you're all always willing to help that other person sell the same thing. So it just amazes me how helpful that you all are. And I just appreciate each and every one of you, all the viewers and all the other people that do this and have been doing it and have paved the way for all of us newcomers. But y'all are just great. It's just amazing how gracious you all are.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. See, people, we do have an awesome community.
We do. Absolutely, we do.
All righty then. Hold on. Ansley's saying, come on over. I'll throw another pan in the oven. Right on. As Mothership Product says, welcome to the asylum, Cindy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think I'd rather be in this asylum than some other asylums I could think of, so.
Right on. Well, guys, it's almost 6:30. I'm going to go ahead and close the show here. So we have plenty of time to grab our food and make sure we get in place for the MSP auction. Also, don't forget to go check out the Rollin Picker, Joni, her story about her dealings with the breast cancer. And let's pray for her and support them. And click on all the links that I put in the descriptions. Let's support Cindy and go get you a cap from Valerie. Okay? So with that said, I'm going to say bye from Katy, Texas. Cindy, where are you saying bye from?
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'll see you tomorrow on my live at 4 Eastern.
All right, guys, don't forget that. All right, then. We'll see you all later, and we'll see you at the auction. Bye-bye.
Bye.